Hey y'all, how y'all doing? What's up? What's up? Okay, so here I just gotta get into it. Some of y'all probably already watched all the receipts, checked all the notes, crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's on this subject. But I just can't let it go. It's too much going on. It's too confusionated, and I gotta get down to the nitty gritty of it. I gotta find out what's really going on, what's really the tea, and who really lying. And so if any of you all are still confused about the Charles Oakley and Angel Oakley and Phaedra and this guy named Marcus, and then somebody else entered the chat named Alex, if you all are still confused about what the heck is going on with this, please watch this video, because we're going to go through the receipts and we're going to figure out what really is going on. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to get the real tea. Okay, guys, so here's the conversation. Marcus goes, hello. Angela is saying, hi, Marcus. Got a code. I don't know what that part was about. Marcus then says, Angela, how are you? The Angela says, so Marcus, you know they want receipts. You have to give me something. But I still want you to be safe, but you still have to give me something. She says, it doesn't have to be, I don't want it to be like this. I don't want it to be like this, but what do you think? Then Marcus goes, it's just a lot right now with my family. They're not very happy. Angela goes, I don't know. Like, did you tell her? Marcus says, no. Angela says, did someone tell her? And then Marcus goes, I don't know. Not for me. Angela says, okay. Marcus goes, but I don't know. They're all confused as to where y'all's beef is at. Angela goes, I don't know. I never knew, I just met her. I don't know anything about her. I had no beef with her. I don't even know who she is. You know what I mean? So then Marcus chimes in, I truly didn't know either. I was like, I didn't know if you met her in the past or I didn't know. That's what he's saying. Angela goes on, so how are you guys related? Marcus says, we're not related. My family went to school with her. Angela says, oh, do you know Nene and all them? Marcus says, Nene is my third cousin. Angela says, oh, but does she claim you? You gotta love Angela. She is so nice, shady. And then Marcus, she says, does she claim you? And Marcus says, I've only met her. I've only met Nene 3 times. Once at a cookout, and she did not say hello to me. So I don't know. Angela says, yes, she wasn't claiming anybody. Marcus says, right, exactly. So it's a bunch of and ums. Athens is a small town, girl. I'm sure it's a very small town, and everybody kind of knows everybody there, and everybody too also kind of protects everybody there. Angel says, I get it. So I want you to still be in good graces with your family, but I still have to protect myself, and I want you to be protected. Angel goes on to say, but I cannot and I didn't lie on you, but you lied on me. So you have to just make it right. Marcus says, and I did. And I want you to understand, I truly meant that apology I gave you the other day. I couldn't even eat for 24 hours, Angela. I felt disgusted that happened. Angela says, and so was it a phone call? This is Angela asking it. So was it a phone call? Was it hey, I need you to meet me here? Because how did it come about? And I know at the table you said, well, you know how this goes. Angela goes on to say, I truly don't. I don't know how this works. I don't know how it works. Marcus says, yeah, they done threw you in it, girl, because you're new to the reality world, and I have done reality TV before. And I know how dark it can get. And I know that people are always looking for the next thing. You know how that is. They're like, how can I get this or that? How can I secure the next season? Or how can we parlay this into a brand deal? So right here, Marcus is letting us know that he's kind of like a reality TV personality. He wants to be in that area, in that arena. And so it doesn't seem far-fetched to me that that it doesn't seem far-fetched to me that he would have some type of relationship or try to form some type of relationship with the housewife, aka Phaedra, because Angela's just now a brand new housewife. So anyway, he says, they're like, how can I get this or that? How can I secure the next season? You know, all these things. Clearly, I didn't last well because I only did one season of reality TV, girl. What was he on? Do y'all know what he was on? So then Angela says, I know, but then Marcus chimes in, no, you know, anybody that's done this before, the biggest thing they never want to give you is any receipts that you can use against them, right? So there was nothing that I can show you physically as far as like a text or a phone call or anything, because all this is done in person. Like, I don't know if, and I'm saying this between you and I hope you take what I'm saying as truthfully as possible, is that the other day when we met, I did truly feel a lot of disregard for what happened and what was said, because, you know, marriages, and I think this is where he decided to start covering his ass. He jumps into marriages. Why don't you just say, I feel sorry for colluding to do something towards you and your marriage? I don't know. I feel like this is where he was covering his ass. He says, you know, marriages have their own complications, and to throw something like that in there, it just makes it more difficult. This annoys me because later in the conversation, he admits that he had no idea. He admits that it comes out that he never actually saw Charles there in the restaurant. So, spoiler alert. And then Angela says, yeah. And Marcus says, yeah, it's a lot at your expense. You're right. And then Marcus goes on to say, and so I don't know if there's something that I hate to say put together or make something fake, but I do want something that legitimizes what we're both saying. Angela says, okay, I agree. And I don't, okay, I agree. And so what is it? Okay, so I guess it could be, who do you know? Now this is Angela trying to get in and be like, how can the rest of this conversation, just to give y'all a spoiler alert, the rest of this conversation is Angela trying to work with Marcus to have him put Phaedra out there, but pretend like Angela figured it out on her own. So I think that's where the confusion comes. Y'all let me know what y'all think when we finish reading these transcripts. But it appears to me that Angela and Marcus's phone conversation was Angela trying to allow Marcus to put Phaedra out there, that she's the one that did it, but make it look like Angela figured it out on her own. And that's what she talks about. I want to protect you. That's what I think is going on. So then, okay, so Angela said, and then that because they want to know more about you, and I'm not willing to do that. And I'm not willing to do that. She says it repeatedly. And then Mark says, no, please don't. And I think that's where it comes into, I think it is true that Angela may have allegedly sent people over there to kind of like put a little fear in Marcus about what he was up to try to force him to come out and reveal who put him up to this. And I think she may have threatened a little bit of his business, because it does come out that he's got some charges, okay, some unpleasant charges. And I'll let y'all look. I'm not going to post that up here, but if you look on, I think it's on the Neighborhood Talk, the picture was on there of what his charges are. Either Neighborhood Talk or the Mr. Housewives, one of the two. So anyway, Angela says, I don't want to do that. It just needs to be, it needs to make sense. She says it needs to be, who do you know that she knows that I can say that you know them, or I don't know, she says. But I really need to get it home and that you're still safe. And she says, and I know Phaedra's probably looking out for you too, but she couldn't have been, because she's the one, and I'll text you the picture, she's the one who told me, Angela says to Marcus, Phaedra was the one who told her his name and where he worked. And Angela goes on to say, so that's why it's like, and then Marcus chimes in, she's the one that told you? Marcus is like, what? Phaedra went and told you? Phaedra gonna cover her behind, okay? And Angela says, yeah, I'll send you the picture when she called me. Marcus says, but you know what, and this is why too, I also say this, and this is between you and I, Angela, is you want to protect yourself in this space, because in this space, based on what you know, because I have been down the road before where people in your circle, as far as the producers and people like that, are going to tell you what you want to hear in the moment and not always have the best interest of you. And it says, okay. Then he says, because they're also looking out for their back too, you know. Now this sounds like a definite repeat of, was that season 9 or whatever, with the whole sex dungeon gate situation. So that's what this is. It's looking very familiar, you guys. And so, yeah, he says, I've been down the road before where people in your circle, as far as the producers and people like that, are going to tell you what you want to hear in the moment and not always have the best interest of you, because they're also looking out for their back too, you know. Angela says, yeah. And Mark is going to say, and I only say that because when we left that event on Tuesday, I had a 20-ish minute conversation with, I think she's the EP. I can't remember her name. He says Hispanic girl. Angela says Hispanic. Marcus says, oh, maybe she's white, but she looks kind of Hispanic. But anyway, they go back and forth about him having a conversation with her. He's just saying that the producer was talking to him for a hot minute, because they go back and forth about who had a baby there, who didn't. So I was like trying to spare y'all that, but they kept going forth about who had a baby. Angela couldn't figure out who had the baby. It was crazy. So I just want to skip past that for y'all. But anyway, and she was like, yeah. Okay, hold on. And so Angela's asked, so what happened? What did she tell you? And he didn't really say specific. He said, but we talked for like a hot minute about a lot of things. And so I feel like it's very interesting that certain details got back to you, and they're saying, oh, this came from Phaedra. So basically, he was talking to one executive producer, spilling some tea, and I'm thinking he thought it was going to be just between him and the EP. Yeah, right. But he's thinking that they went and told Angela. Angela says, no, Phaedra called me. Mark says, but what I'm saying is, I feel like they gave that information to Phaedra, who gave it to you. What? Angela says, okay. And then Marcus says, you know what I'm saying? Angela says, I can see how you got to that point. I can see how you got to that point. I definitely can see that. That's what Angela says. So we're on the same page. And then Marcus says, I know so, because there are certain things that Phaedra doesn't know about me that have been very random that she told you. And I know for a fact that I had a conversation with this person there who told them that. That's crazy. Like, why are you telling people your in-depth business? So Angel says, understood. But yeah, so they used Phaedra to tell it to me, but unbeknownst to anybody, she was the one who, and then he chimes and says, and I know for a fact that I had a conversation with this person there who told them that. He is being super messy boots. Like, why are you just all up in the scene? It's giving, I really want to be on reality TV, and he doing too much. And so Angela goes on to say, so what is it like? She's basically saying, so how should we play out this, I randomly find out this information without revealing you? So she says, so do I just say, hey, meet me here? This is what I need you to do. Have you done this before? Mark says, has I done this before for like people, like housewives? Angela said, yeah, is this what you do? Angela, I love her. Mark says, no, girl, I got a whole career. I'm like you. I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own real estate business. I have my own marketing company. Like, I'm like legit. Angela says, so you are a marketing expert? She clocked a little bit of tea there. Marketing expert. Tell me how to fix this. How do I fix this? And I think this is the part where some people are, even he may be trying to say, oh, this is her colluding with me to bring the storyline to light. No, this is her wanting to get this information out, how shady she feels Phaedra is, with all while trying to protect him. And she probably shouldn't even went down that route, like, well, I'm just about to put you on blast, because now he's trying to flip it and pretend like Angela just made this stuff up all on her own. And so, like I said, Angela says, so you are a marketing expert. Tell me how to fix this. How do I fix this? And it needs to be authentic, but you have to do it in a way that you're still protected. And I am protected. Marcus says, well, I'm going to tell you first off, and this is true. You just got to read me down to filth, like you read me down to filth the other day, girl. Angela says, no, but it doesn't make sense. You're not my problem anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? And Marcus says, I'm not your problem, but I'm the one that presented the problem to the table. Marcus goes on to say, you can still like read me, but also be like, I know you were a scapegoat. Does that make sense? Angela says, okay, so, and you are willing to point the finger? Are you willing to point the finger? He says, I really cannot say any names, Angela. That to me is putting a wedge in between me and like everyone else. But I can definitely give you the breadcrumbs. You're not like you already knew, girl. You said you have 5 options. Angela says, but what are the breadcrumbs? You got to understand the editors they don't want to protect me, right? Because she needs to be protected. Okay, so Angela's thinking that they're going to try to protect Phaedra over her, I guess, because she's a new girl, and it'd be easier to get rid of Angela than to get rid of Phaedra again for being in some mess and creating a lie. Allegedly. And then, so, yeah, Angela goes on to say, I have too much to lose to not be protected, and so does my husband. So it's a zero-sum game to me. It's a zero-sum. I have to protect myself, and again, I need to know the truth. How can I just pull up on you guys talking or whatever? It could be something that puts you with her, and it'll be just me putting 2 and 2 together. It wouldn't be nothing, have done or said, even though she may see the scene, but it'll be like, I don't know, we have a mutual friend. I don't know that placed you guys. I don't know what placed you guys together, whatever. Marcus says, I will say this, and this is all I'm going to say. If cameras were rolling when Phaedra walked up to the event, meaning the cook-off, what was they calling that event? Kelly's event with the cook-off or whatever. He says, I will say this, and this is all I'm going to say. If cameras were rolling when Phaedra walked up to the event, she walked up to me. Now, this is where he's admitting that Phaedra is participant in this. She walked up to me and kissed me on my cheek and whispered something in my ear. I don't know if they have that on camera, but I'm just going to throw that out there. And yeah, I will say, unfortunately for us, it was before she was mic'd. And it says, okay. And she says, was anybody else there? Marcus says, yeah, everybody was sitting out there. The producers were there. Everybody was there. Yeah, it was right in front of the step and repeat area. That was kind of fuzzy, so hopefully they said step and repeat. Then Angela says, okay, but I don't know what if that can help me. So she knows you. It needs to be, I see you with her, and that'll be that, and you could walk away. She will see the scene, and it will play in the way that I see you with her first, and then I confront you. So it's not going to play like I confront you first, and then I see you with her. They'll run it as though I see you with her first, and then they show what happened at the coffee shop. So this is the era. This is what I don't like about reality TV. When people start trying to create and orchestrate, script, and direct their own stories. Okay, Angela, now I like you now, but I don't need to be seeing you trying to do this on a regular basis, because this can become a little annoying. And then she says, they'll run as though I see you with her first, and then they show what happened at the coffee shop. But that'll protect you. What did you say that will protect you? Because it'll be like, I saw it, and now I'm confronting you, and you'll be like, I saw it, and you'll be like, you're just bringing it home. But I hope it can work out between you and her, because I'm sorry about that for you. Marcus says, I mean, for me, there's no deep ties. Let's be honest, But like I just told you earlier, Athens is a small town. Like, that's where my family's from. And just says, like, but she set you up. She set you up. Like, I don't know why you're protecting her. And let me say this. This is just honest between you and I. And when this whole thing came to light, I actually thought your husband. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, Marcus. Hold on. Angela says, like, but she set you up. She set you up like, I don't know why you're protecting her. Then Marcus says, let me just say this. And just between you and I, and when this whole thing came to light, I actually thought, Marcus goes on to say, I actually thought your husband had been in our restaurant because everybody said, you don't remember the day the famous retired basketball player came in? And it wasn't until later when I had to do my own research, it was another retired basketball player. Boy, you just really, see, y'all saw that post, Angela talking about I'm about to sue you. You came all the way on the show, quote, bringing receipts and proclaiming that somebody's husband is cheating or trying to ruin their marriage, and you wasn't even sure if it was him. That's a hot mess. Yeah, he says it was another retired basketball player. And just says, I get it. She says, but my husband's allergic to that season. It's like a particular jerk season. Like, so when I saw, I'm like, come on now. Like, this is insane. But aside from that, I get it was another player. I need something. And do you have, I don't know. You have to fix this. She goes on to say, you have to fix this. And then Marcus says, and I'll fix it. Angela goes on to say, I need it to be fixed by tomorrow. I need you to fix it tomorrow. And then Marcus says, tomorrow. And then tomorrow. And then Angela says, yeah, it's like, and then Marcus says, no, Angela says, I'm sorry. Angela says, we're done filming. And then Marcus says, are you filming with her tomorrow? Angela says, no, I'm not. And then Angela says, no, I'm not. So I'm not filming with her tomorrow. But there's one last scene we're doing on Friday. I guess that's the gala. And you said you don't know if she knows somebody. You may have told her already. And then Marcus says, possibly. So then let me jump over this. Then it says, did she pay you? Did she pay you, or just like, did she pay you to do it? Or is it just like, just something you do? And then Marcus says, pay me? No, she ain't pay me. And then he just gonna say, yeah, they was just being messy. And he says, yeah, it was a messy gay moment. I'm trying to shorten this, y'all. Clap me. He just goes on talking about being a messy gay moment. And then Mark is going to say, Angela asked him, does your family think we have beef? And oh yeah, then Mark is like, yeah, because they're like, why did she target you? And then Marcus basically gets off the phone because he's like, oh, my fiance just came home. All right, but yeah. So I think we got through the most important part, because the rest of this is just them basically closing out the conversation. Marcus's fiance comes home, and the both of them agree. Angela and Marcus agreed to talk tomorrow. So y'all, I had to read that down for y'all because I'm not understanding why people are trying to say, oh, Angela orchestrated this for a storyline, because it never gave that to me. And the funny thing is, I wish I would have got on first when they very brought this up, that somebody had paid this guy or put this guy up to this, and they was trying to figure out who it was. Was it Kelly? Was it Britt? Was it Portia? Was it Phaedra? And I was like, this sounds like some Phaedra stuff. My hair is annoying me right now. But anyway, I was like, this sounds like some Phaedra stuff. Some Phaedra type thing. And comes out, in my opinion, y'all let me know what y'all think. with the receipts that's been presented, whether or not it was Phaedra, because it's looking a whole lot like it was Phaedra. And it's like, Phaedra, you ain't learned from the last time you was on here, and you got yourself into some mess. And Phaedra is one of the people that's so good and crafty at spinning things and lying that she truly believes that you ain't gonna never catch her in a lie. She always feels like she's covered all her bases. And she hasn't. She didn't back with the whole sex dungeon thing, and she did it this time. And I think the only reason why she probably had it if she didn't underestimate Angela. Because Angela's like, honey, I'm getting down to the bottom of this. Angela knew, because she said with her husband being out of town during the time that they said he was in the restaurant, this person, she was like, no, I know this is some mess. So I'm going to figure out who came up with this and lied on my husband. So Angela decided to do her research. And from her research, and possibly a little bit allegedly threatening, she got down to the bottom of it. And now he's the guy who's up to it. He's trying to figure out a way to not ruin his relationship with Phaedra, all the while saying, okay, I'm going to open my mouth and say something, because I feel like allegedly he was possibly could have been, in my opinion, threatened to, you better say something. And so that's why he's coming out with it. But Angela has made the mistake to agree to protect him. And so now he thinks it's okay to flip it on her, because all of a sudden we supposed to be confused about the situation. I feel like I ain't confused about the situation. I feel like I'm not. Y'all let me know if y'all feel differently, but I don't feel confused about the situation. After reading all of this and seeing some of the receipts, I don't feel confused at all. So anyway, y'all, that's all I got. Y'all let me know what y'all think. This is getting crazy. I'm wondering if Phaedra is even going to make it to next season, because this is a hot mess. It's looking like the last time she was on this show and she got booted off. Anyway, y'all, that's all for me. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye-bye for now.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
No, you know.
Ugh.